Could my past be haunting me, or is my ex-wife actually tracking my every move? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another truly incredible personal tale. My original submission was removed several times, but I heard it was reposted elsewhere. To clarify my unusual situation, I shared a story a few months ago about cutting ties with my former spouse when I discovered her profound infidelity with a colleague. I personally observed this by diligently trailing her. After confronting her repeatedly and achieving no resolution, I gave up on the relationship. My chosen path was to leave her and disappear completely and utterly from her life. To be precise, we maintained distinct financial holdings and no joint property, so I could accomplish this cleanly. I entirely vacated the apartment we had once shared. I relocated outside the metropolitan area to a plot of land, residing in a sturdy mobile home acquired from an acquaintance. Upon her return from a trip, all that remained was a written message and my marriage ring. Since then, my living arrangement has been excellent, and I've embraced a simple lifestyle. As a remote technical professional, I can work from any location and travel when required, provided I have reliable internet access, which fortunately I do. My objective was to get my life in order. I had just contacted legal counsel, but she acted swiftly first, and we proceeded with an amicable dissolution of our marriage. Now here's the issue. I encountered a shared acquaintance recently. She mentioned that my former wife was exposed professionally regarding her infidelity, and things did not go particularly well for her or the man she betrayed me with. I stopped her from telling me anything more because that woman had caused enough distress and I had no desire to learn more. The friend also stated that my ex still wished to communicate with me, hoping for a reunion and pleading for my pardon. I didn't truly believe her, but my friend was firm in her belief. I instructed her not to mention seeing me, and she agreed. I possessed no strong desire to engage in conversation with her again, let alone see her. However, 3 days ago, I spotted my ex at a quiet coffee shop, sitting alone in a small community near my residence. It's somewhat of a recreational and tourist destination, but it's several hours from where she lives. This cannot be a mere coincidence, can it? I almost went in for coffee myself, but she was focused on her phone, so I presume she didn't notice me. I believe that since I've grown a substantial beard and my hair is now shoulder length, she probably wouldn't recognize me anyway. My immediate reaction, as before, was to frantically flee as if I had encountered pure evil. I exited the area as quickly and truly discreetly as possible. Ultimately, I thought I was quite untraceable, and now I'm not so sure. Is my behavior typical? I'm also considering speaking with a therapist or someone about this tendency to escape when dealing with my former wife. Until this incident, I was genuinely content, enjoying a fulfilling and solitary independent existence. A friend of mine pondered if she had hired a private investigator to locate me. Should I simply let it go, or anticipate the best outcome? Update 1. Just wanted to provide an update on the situation I'm facing with my former wife. I've revised this account multiple times for clarity. As mentioned in my previous post, I was concerned that my ex-wife was attempting to find me, perhaps to reconcile. I had moved approximately 2 hours from our previous home. I saw her last weekend at a coffee shop I frequent in the town close to where I reside. I suspected her presence was not accidental. Fortunately, I managed to depart before she noticed me. Update 1.1. I returned to town this past weekend to purchase some groceries and intended to get coffee at my usual spot, as well as complete some work documents using their free internet. After finishing up, I exited the coffee establishment. As I walked toward my vehicle, I heard a voice call out, "Paul!" I looked across the street, and there she was, Kathy, my ex, waving at me. A terrifying confrontation had finally arrived. I stood there, stunned. She rushed across the street and approached me, extending her arms, expecting an embrace. I automatically extended my arms, palms forward, and she paused. She gazed at me, deeply hurt. Then she spoke. "Paul, I've been searching for you. I heard you moved here and wanted to see you. Can we talk?" I experienced the sensation of a cornered creature, truly. So, I gave in and agreed, "Okay, let's find a table or something, and we can talk for a minute." She inquired if we could go to my place, and I responded with a firm negative. She followed me to a bench outside a small boutique at the end of the block. She began by commenting on how much I'd transformed, expressing admiration for my new appearance, my facial hair, and so on. She liked how my physique had changed, how fit I looked. She performed convincingly. She appeared captivating. She wore small white shorts and a tank top, with her hair in a ponytail, just as I used to prefer. My sensory awareness was heightened, and I could tell she was truly exuding a strong physical attraction. I had to really control my reactions and see where this conversation was heading. She started by apologizing for the entire affair. She claimed consequences truly affected her after I left. Her company learned of her infidelity and made her situation so unpleasant that she resigned. Her co-conspirator, then engaged, received a disciplinary action and was reassigned within the company. He blamed her for his relocation, prompting her to disclose all details to his fiancée, leading to their separation. She lowered her head slightly and began weeping. I simply sat there, looking around, without anything to utter. She straightened up and stared at me for a moment. I asked her what she desired from me. She wished to convey that she never intended to initiate an affair, feeling she was drawn in by company politics and advancement strategies. She believed the affair partner truly manipulated her with his charm and influence within the organization. Then, she foolishly thought she was exploiting him as much as he was exploiting her. She was planning to confess to me, especially after I accused her of having an affair. She detested herself during that period, and her after-work drinking was an attempt to self-medicate from the guilt. Right after I departed, she felt so foolish, so utterly alone, like her spirit collapsed from sorrow. She immediately ended her illicit relationship. She felt that since I wouldn't contact or speak with her, she had to find me and see if she could rectify things for us, and if we could begin anew. She knew we were divorced, but perhaps we could achieve a fresh start. I just stared at her. I unleashed my anger. I'm paraphrasing our exchange, but here it is. How dare you believe you can simply appear here and imagine you can just erase the damage you inflicted? Am I supposed to forgive everything you did to destroy our marriage? I told you before, if you betrayed me, we were finished. There is no pardon. There is no resetting our connection. You terminated it. You ruined everything between us the instant you stepped out on me. How naive do you think I am? I trailed you one evening and observed you entering a hotel together. Do you realize that? I then noticed I was elevating my tone, drawing attention from observers. She started to sob. She grasped my arm. I allowed her to weep briefly on my shoulder before gently pushing her back. She looked up at me. I accept these consequences. I know I do. Can you at least allow me to take you to dinner or something? I don't want to leave. I want to discuss more. I want to ensure we have everything transparent. I need time with you that you didn't grant me before. Please, Paul. I know you may not wish to hear this, but I care for you so deeply. I didn't realize how much I cared for you until you departed and shattered me, and I shattered you just as severely. I cannot forgive myself. I don't want to forgive myself until my dying day. She started hyperventilating and weeping so intensely that I pulled her up and hugged her. I understand. I felt that was the sole action I could take to perhaps calm her. At that instant, I recognized I had indeed broken her heart, just as she had broken mine. I began walking with her, then discovered a pleasant, quiet pathway to stroll along, and things settled down somewhat. I then asked her how she located me, and if she had hired a private investigator or similar. She chuckled a little and said no, though she had considered it. She had encountered Stacy a couple of weeks prior and inquired about how things were. Stacy let slip that she had seen me. Kathy pressured her to reveal every single detail. Stacy hadn't wanted to tell her because I had instructed her not to, but she wouldn't release her until she did. However, all she truly knew was that she had seen me here in town and that I resided somewhere in the vicinity. So, she started coming here on her days off to see if she could find me. She really blushed when she said that. I kind of chuckled. Damn, Stacy, can't keep her mouth shut. So we did go to dinner. We found a nice little establishment with an outdoor seating area. I ensured we didn't consume any alcohol. I didn't want any excuse for her to soften me up or claim she was too intoxicated to drive back. We actually had a good conversation. Afterward, I walked her to her vehicle. She desired to stay and pressed me hard on the matter and wouldn't yield. She hadn't been with anyone else since I left and swore vehemently that I was the only one she wanted. I told her no. It's still far too soon for me to proceed down that path. She pleaded to see me again, but I remained non-committal. I provided her with my new email address, but that was all. She wanted my phone number, but I refused, saying, "You'll just flood it with messages and calls." She wept about that. She said she would be back in town next weekend if I were interested. I didn't respond to that. She said she would email me with all the specifics of when and where. Before she departed, I asked her directly if she would pardon me if I had been the one to cheat. She sat there contemplating and said yes, she would, given time. But only if we consulted a marriage counselor or if we could navigate the healing process with extensive dialogue and perhaps even a formal commitment. I replied, okay, maybe I could do that 5 to 10 years from now. She stated that if that's what it would require, she would wait. She then took my hands in hers, looked me directly in the eye, and uttered something that truly astonished me. She declared, Paul, I will forever care for you and demonstrate it in any way possible. With that, she left. I'm still so rattled by her passionate declaration. I still can't envision myself reuniting with her. I feel better, though. Right now, I can't even see her as a casual acquaintance with intimacy, perhaps a friend, but honestly, I just don't know if we could ever make it work again. Refrain from labeling me a fool because opportunities for redemption are scarce in my perspective. I returned home, had a good long run and a few beers, and felt I was in a positive state. Can anyone guarantee me that she won't ruin that? I don't know. I just don't know. It's too fresh in my mind, but I have the privilege of time to resolve this matter and gain some clarity. Update 2. All right, so this will likely be my final update. I initially shared my account on Reddit, but the moderators kept removing it. To summarize, my former wife did locate me, and we did converse after over a year of me cutting all communication with her. Her intent in finding me was indeed to reconcile and resume our life together. To those who wrote predicting I would be the typical submissive, naive individual who would forgive her and fall back into her arms, you will be sorely disappointed. She did send me a lengthy email this past week, expressing her affection and remorse for the affair once again. She desired to return and spend the weekend with me. My response to all this was to reject her advances. I have been perfectly content living an independent existence for now, in my remote location, keeping my circumstances as straightforward as possible. I have enjoyed the companionship of various women and friends, and at 32, I feel there's no rush to alter things. I possess my personal path of independence, and I intend to follow it for now. So in replying to her email, I declined to provide my new phone number. I laid everything bare. I told her no, I have no intention of reconciling with her. She created her own predicament, and I no longer trust her, nor do I truly know her anymore. I wish her the best and will consider her a possible friend, perhaps someday in a future yet to be determined. My lack of clarity deeply annoyed her. She replied with something very revealing. She was, of course, thoroughly disappointed by my response, but she also informed me that she had accepted a job offer several states away, and her true objective all along was for me to accompany her. She knows my work is remote and I can reside wherever I choose, and she thought I would consider coming with her, and in exchange, we would have a brand new beginning in a brand new place. She had little time remaining before her departure and wanted to see me in person to aggressively persuade me. Fortunately for me, I have to be unavailable for a week, so our window is closed. Thank goodness. So, she will be gone from my life now, I imagine. I anticipate receiving a few more emails for a bit longer, but eventually, I believe she will realize her opportunity with me has expired, and she will have to find someone else. And she might betray them too. Just thought I would share the update. So guys, live your best life, discard past burdens, and strengthen your resolve to move forward. Good luck to you all. All right, let's go over a couple of quick comments and wrap this up. Insane Ike, 22 begins. She discovered what most deceivers do not or will not comprehend. Betrayal poisons relationships, especially when both parties are deceitful. Connections built on falsehoods, trickery, and self-importance are doomed. You're doing the correct thing. Werewolf L84 states, good conclusion and best wishes. Find someone new and relish your existence as much as possible. But one thing I don't grasp is why she's so set on finding you after what she did. I missed her last part, so I didn't see her conversation. Could someone inform me about the previous installment? Our final comment is from For Real Y65. Congratulations. Wishing you continued prosperity in your future and that you find someone when you're ready.